Good morning, everyone. Today's session is on a very popular question regarding the law aspirants. Which APO or Assistant Public Prosecutor exam is the easiest to crack? Now, this question basically comes from the confusion which students they face due to different patterns, vacancies, difficulty levels, and competition. So, I'll try to break down this, right? Now, I'll try to break down into certain parameters. First is the comparative difficulty of the various APO exams. Then there is the evaluation criteria and the easiest exam to crack, right? Based on data, and it's not based on assumptions. And a preparation roadmap based on the exam difficulty. So let's get started. So part 1 is actually understanding. Part 1 is the understanding of the APO role. Now, before deciding which exam is easy, first of all, we have to understand what the job of APO basically does, right? So basically, it represents the state in criminal trials. Then it works with the police during investigation. Then there is drafting of charges, there is arguments, there are legal opinions, and it has got a steady government pay scale. So these are the various factors which basically we have to make sure or we have to understand while giving the APO exam. Now, this profession is very much a respected litigation profession and it requires a strong criminal law understanding. Now, what are the parameters to judge which exam is the easiest and which is the toughest, right? So, we cannot randomly label exam as easy, moderate, or basically tough. So, we have to have 5 parameters to it, right? So, what are the parameters on which we'll be judging whether the exam is easy, moderate, or it's tough? So, parameters of judging. In this, the first basically comes is your number of vacancies. More number of vacancies, so there is easier competition ratio, right? Number of vacancies. More number of vacancy. Easy competition ratio. This is the first parameter when we are actually judging whether the exam is moderate, it's tough, or it's easy, right? The second is the syllabus size. Now, smaller syllabus basically entails a lesser burden. Third is your question level difficulty. Now, how difficult are the questions? So that level also has to be tested. Then we have the competition intensity. How many serious aspirants are the ones who have basically applied for the job? And fifth is your exam cycle regularity. That means predictable exams are easier to appear, right? So these are the number of parameters on which we basically judge whether the exam is easy, it's moderate, or it's tough. Now, based on these parameters, we'll basically rank all the major APO exams. Now, first of all, we have different kinds of state exams. First is your UP APO, right? Then we have Bihar, Rajasthan, then you have got Jharkhand, then you've got Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, then you have Delhi, Maharashtra, and last is your MP ADPO. So these are the various APO exams, right? Each of these exam has its own pattern, has its own difficulty, right? Now, let's try and understand which exams are the most toughest, right? So let's eliminate the tougher ones first, right? First is Delhi APP. Now, when we talk about Delhi APP, Delhi APP has got lower vacancies. The vacancies are very short in this and the vacancies are very less, okay? Competition level is extremely high. Extremely high. And there is heavy focus, or there is more thirst on the criminal law. Heavy focus on criminal law. So Delhi APP exam is one of the most toughest, right? So it's being tougher because there are lower vacancies and competition level is really high, and there is a heavy thirst or heavy focus on the criminal law. So because of this reason, Delhi APP is the most toughest. Moving on, we have the second exam, that is UP APO. Now when we talk about UP APO, it has got a largely, it's more of a comprehensive paper. It has got a comprehensive syllabus. Then you have got the largest competition pool. Right? So it has got a comprehensive syllabus, it has got the largest competitive pool, and it has got multiple stages, and it has a detailed interview. There are multiple stages, and it has got the detailed interview. Right? So this is the pattern of UP APO. Now this exam is very demanding. So we have talked about Delhi APO, we have talked about UP APO. Third, we have Maharashtra APP. Now Maharashtra APP, it has practical, it has descriptive, and it has a viva voice. It has got practical portions, plus it has descriptive, and the third stage involves a viva voice. A viva, or it's an interview. Then there is intense local competition. When we talk about Maharashtra APP, it has 3 stages, and the competition is very intense when we talk about this. And it is one of the most difficult exams, right? So these 3 exams are not the easiest to crack. Tough. So Delhi APP, Maharashtra APP, and UP APO, right? So these are toughest exams, right? Now let's talk about which exams are the moderate. Which one are the moderate exams? Moderate exams, we have Bihar APO. Now when we talk about Bihar APO, what are the pros, right? And what are the pros? Because it has got decent vacancies. What are the advantages or what are the pros? It has got decent vacancies, and there is predictable pattern. There's a predictable pattern, and there is actually decent vacancies, right? And what are the cons of the paper? The descriptive papers are really lengthy. Descriptive papers are quite lengthy. So this is one of the most moderate exams, that's the Bihar APO, right? Now second to this is, it has moderate difficulty. Second to the moderate exam, we have Rajasthan APO. Now, when we talk about Rajasthan APO, what are the pros? Pros are basically the straightforward questions. Straightforward questions. Questions are quite straightforward and direct. Talking about the cons of it, so it has got a very high cutoff. High cutoff. So this is Rajasthan APO. This is actually of moderate difficulty. Third is your Jharkhand APO. Jharkhand APO. Jharkhand APO, in this we have the pros is syllabus is manageable. Syllabus manageable. And the cons of the paper are there is inconsistent exam cycle. Inconsistent exam cycle. Exam cycle. So these are moderately difficult exams. When we talk about Rajasthan APO, when we talk about Jharkhand APO, okay? So these are quite moderate in nature, right? Then we have which are the easiest to crack. So let's have a look at that. Which are the easiest to crack? The easiest to crack. Easiest to crack APO. So the ones which are easiest to crack based on our parameters, that is vacancies, syllabus, difficulty and the competition, there are two easiest exams. One is your Chhattisgarh ADPP, right? And second is your Odisha APP. Chhattisgarh and Odisha APP. Odisha APP. So these are one of the most easiest to crack. Why Chhattisgarh Assistant District Public Prosecutor is the easiest? Because consistently it has high vacancies. Then syllabus is mostly criminal law. Then questions are mostly direct and they are basically bare act based, right? One, they are direct from the text and they are being basically bare act based. And when we talk about the competition is comparatively low on an all India level. So it is the easiest to crack when we talk about Chhattisgarh ADPP, right? And whatever the syllabus is, because I've told that criminal is one of the most important in this. So we have IPC, BNS, CRPC, BNSS, minor local laws, basic Hindi, English, and difficulty level is easy to moderate, right? And the selection ratio when we talk about in Chhattisgarh, it's far better than UP, Bihar and Delhi. So if you want to have the fastest entry into the prosecution service, this is the easiest exam. Now Odisha APO or Odisha APP, it is also one of the easy because we have got low to moderate number of candidates, and syllabus basically it's being dominated more by the core criminal laws, and objective questions are being there which are actually direct. Then competition is very regionally limited and more vacancies as compared to the applicants. So this is the we have started moving from difficult to moderate to easy exam, right? Now basically difficulty level, it's very easy, right? Now paper is mostly factual based, it's more of the bare act based, right? And it is one of the most least competitive APO exams in India, right? Now let's have a final ranking. Let's have a final ranking. Let's have a final ranking from the easiest to the toughest. Easiest to the toughest. First is your Chhattisgarh. easiest. Then you've got Odisha, right? Then you have Jharkhand. Then you have Rajasthan. Rajasthan, Bihar, Maharashtra, Bihar, Maharashtra, then we have MP, MP ADPO, UP APO, and the last is Delhi AP, Delhi APP exam. So basically this is the final ranking, right from the easiest to the toughest exam, okay? Because Delhi APP, it is one of the most toughest exam. Now, what should be the preparation strategy based on the difficulty level, right? So if you choose Chhattisgarh, if you choose Odisha, these are one of the most easiest exam, right? So for this you have to study BNS, BNSS plus evidence, right? That's BSA. You have to study all these criminal laws thoroughly. Now make a daily Bare Act reading habit, right? Every day you should be reading the Bare Act, and you have to solve the previous year questions, right? PYQs. You have to solve the MCQs, right? Because you have to, the more practice you do on a daily basis, the more it will be helpful in your main examination, right? It will be more helpful when the exam comes up. So definitely you have to practice 5 to 6 mocks every day, right? So mock test will give you a practice, right? Because you'll be having more there'll be more time analysis, time management, so you'll also have your speed, you'll have your accuracy, right? So it's basically the more you practice mock, the more efficient you will be in your examination. Now you have to add local laws, right? Local laws only after the core laws being complete, right? So first of all you have to complete your core laws, that is the criminal laws, then you have to pick up the local laws, right? Now timeline is 4 to 5 months dedicated and serious study should be there, and that's enough, right? 4 to 5 months dedicated study and preparation is enough for this examination. So if we're talking about this, but then if we are actually choosing the moderate exams, for example Bihar, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, so you have to add a descriptive answer writing. So there's also a mains paper, right? So there should be descriptive answer writing by your side also. You have to practice that. Then you have to focus on the case laws. Then you have to prepare an essay, you have to prepare the translation, right? And you have to practice the main style answer writing weekly, right? So this is when you are actually targeting the moderate exams, right? Now if you the timeline for preparation of these moderate exams is 6 to 8 months, right? So but then if you choose the toughest exams, say for instance you choose UP, you choose Delhi, you choose Maharashtra, so here the paper levels are quite difficult, right? And for that you need to have a deep conceptual understanding of the topic, right? Now there should be practice problem based questions. Now you have to solve on a daily basis, you have to solve on a regular basis. Then you have to learn drafting skills, then you have to learn the how to file a charge sheet, bail, cross examination, right? There should be strong reasoning and there should be strong writing skills which are being required for these difficult exams, right? And you have to give importance equally to the current legal affairs. And if you are targeting these high level exam or high difficult exams, the timeline for the preparation is 10 to 12 months, more or less it's a year, right? So you have to basically focus on these topics and you have to practice more on these parts, right? So part A is when we talk about what is the conclusion, what do we conclude out of it? So conclusion is which APO is the easiest to crack. So easiest is Chhattisgarh and Odisha. These are one of the most easiest to crack, right? Because these have the easiest syllabus, they have lowest competition, and they have the simple repeated question patterns, right? Every now and then the questions are being repeated from the previous PYQs. But when we talk about the toughest examinations, we have Delhi, we have Maharashtra, and we have UP. So these are fairly difficult examinations because here the competition is quite high, seats are quite less, and they focus more on the they are basically problem based questions, right? So you have to practice more in that, right? So I'll sum up by concluding that ease does not mean guaranteed selection, because you have to be consistent, you have to have a Bare Act mastery, that's very much important, and practice. The more you practice, the more there are chances of being selected, right? There are more chances of your success. So practice basically determines your success.
The more you practice, the more you'll succeed in your paper. So thank you everyone.